Welcome to Learning Adda. The Call of Destiny. In a small village, nestled between rolling hills and thick forests, lived a young woman named Aria. Her days were simple, filled with chores, tending to her family's land, and helping the villagers whenever they needed a hand. Though she cherished her peaceful life, Aria couldn't shake the feeling that something more awaited her beyond the familiar fields and trees. There was a quiet longing in her heart, as if a voice was calling her toward a greater purpose, though she didn't know what it could be. One afternoon, as she walked along the river bank, a soft glow caught her eye from the nearby woods. Intrigued, Aria followed the light, weaving through the trees until she reached a small clearing. There, hidden beneath the shade of an old oak tree, was a stone covered in strange, glowing symbols. The light seemed to pulse from the stone itself, beckoning her closer. As she touched it, the symbols shimmered, and a calm yet powerful voice echoed in her mind. Aria, you have been chosen. Startled, Aria looked around, but no one was there. The voice, however, continued to speak. You are destined for something greater. A path has been laid before you, but only if you have the courage to follow it. Aria's heart raced. Why me? She whispered. I'm just an ordinary girl. Destiny chooses not by strength or power, but by heart. You have been called, Aria, because you are brave, kind, and true. Your journey begins now. From that moment on, Aria felt a shift within her. The voice didn't speak again, but she sensed its presence, guiding her in subtle ways. Days passed, and Aria couldn't stop thinking about the voice and the strange stone. What did it mean to be chosen? What path was she meant to follow? Her questions were answered when, one evening, a group of travelers arrived in the village. Among them was an old woman with eyes full of wisdom. She seemed to recognize something in Aria and approached her with a knowing smile. You carry a great burden on your heart, child, the old woman said softly. I see the call of destiny upon you. Do not be afraid. You are meant for more than this village. Aria was taken aback. But how do you know? What is this destiny? The old woman placed a gentle hand on Aria's shoulder. You must journey beyond these hills to the mountains far to the north. There, you will find answers. But the road is long and dangerous. You must have faith in yourself. Though fear gripped her, Aria knew she couldn't ignore the call any longer. The next morning, she packed a small bag and set off on her journey. The village seemed so small behind her as she walked away, yet she felt a strange sense of excitement rising within her. This was the beginning of something new, something important. The road was rough, and Aria faced many challenges along the way. Harsh storms battered her, wild animals crossed her path, and the steep, rocky terrain tested her strength. But each time she was tempted to turn back, she remembered the voice and the old woman's words. Her heart told her to keep going, no matter how hard it became. After days of travel, Aria finally reached the mountains. The peaks were high, their tops lost in clouds, and the air was thin and cold. As she climbed higher, the path became more treacherous, but Aria pressed on, determined to reach her destination. She knew her answers were waiting at the top. At the peak of the tallest mountain, Aria found a hidden temple carved into the rock. It was ancient, weathered by time, but still standing strong. Inside, sitting on a stone bench, was a man with a long silver beard. He gazed at Aria with kind eyes, as if he had been expecting her all along. "You have come a long way," the man said. His voice was deep, yet comforting, like the voice she had heard in her mind. "I have," Aria replied. "But I still don't understand why I've been called." The old man smiled. "Destiny is not always about great deeds or grand adventures. It is about being true to who you are and making choices that shape the world around you. You were called because you have the heart to listen, the courage to act, and the wisdom to seek the truth." "But what is my purpose?" Aria asked, still unsure. The old man stood and handed her a small stone, engraved with the same glowing symbols she had seen at the start of her journey. "Your purpose is to live with kindness and courage. To trust the voice inside you, and to follow the path it leads you on. Every step you take, every choice you make, no matter how small, shapes the future." Aria took the stone, feeling its warmth in her hands. She realized then that the call of destiny wasn't about a single moment or a grand achievement, it was about how she lived each day, the choices she made, and the way she treated others. Her destiny was not written in the stars, but in her actions. As she made her way back down the mountain, Aria felt lighter. The journey had been difficult, but she now understood that destiny wasn't something far off and unreachable. It was within her, guiding her through every decision, every act of kindness, every brave step she took. When Aria returned to her village, she wasn't the same person who had left. Though her home and the people around her remained unchanged, she saw the world through new eyes. She continued to live her simple life, but now with a deeper understanding. She helped her neighbors, shared her wisdom with those who sought it, and always trusted the voice within her. Years passed, and Aria became known in the village for her wisdom and kindness. People came to her not because she had traveled far or achieved something great, but because she understood the power of small, meaningful actions. They admired her for her strength, not of body, but of spirit. One day, a young girl from the village, full of curiosity and dreams, came to Aria with questions of her own. Aria smiled and handed the girl the small engraved stone, just as it had been given to her. "This is for you," Aria said softly. "Trust yourself, follow your heart, and remember, your destiny is always within reach." And so, the call of destiny continued, passed from one generation to the next, a quiet voice that spoke not of greatness, but of the strength found in kindness, courage, and the choices made each day. Thank you for watching.